today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Direct Super Friends, Aquaman, and Black Manta Deluxe Action Figure Set. Two arch rivals from deep within the bowels of the ocean, I suppose. We're having a look today at Aquaman and Black Manta. Two fantastic figures that come to us from the Super Friends line from DC Direct. Again, this set features not only figures, but also accessories. Certainly can't wait. It's based on the classic animated TV show. On the side, the undersea scavenger Black Manta. On the other side, yes, King of the Seven Seas. We only need him when there's something to do with the ocean being jeopardized. We have Aquaman. And on the back, Super Friends. Includes Black Manta's removable Neutron eraser gun, the Black Manta's submarine on a removable stand, and of course each figure comes with a Super Friends base. Aquaman was born of the seas and rules it today as King of Atlantis, but whether in or out of the water, his great strength and nobility makes him one of the Earth's greatest heroes, though he is never used. I just added that. A lifelong professional criminal, the scavenger Black Manta has dedicated his career to plundering the riches of the seven seas and creating havoc for his nemesis, Aquaman. Other figures, if you are interested, and I would imagine anyone my age bracket probably would be, other figures available in these two packs from 2003, I might add, if you're wondering how old these are. We have the Superman and Lex Luthor, we have the Wonder Woman and Cheetah, we have Green Lantern and Sinestro, Batman and Scarecrow, and of course Robin and the Riddler. I say of course, you probably wouldn't have known that had I not pointed and shown you the picture. But all fantastic sets. I think each one of them respectively you could have bought as individual figures now. I think DC Direct has re-released them. I'm not sure if they did the Robin and the Green Lantern, but I know they have done Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, but I digress. What I am going to do, however, though, is I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, there's definitely retro to come, my friends, as we have a look at Aquaman and Black Manta. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. More to come. Both Aquaman and Black Manta come with Super Friends display bases, something Spot had talked about in his last review, if you had watched that. Superman and Lex Luthor. Spot also realized to check the figures this time, as both Aquaman and Black Manta have peg holes on the left side, if you are looking at it on screen, the left side of the figure. Having said that, I don't understand the reasoning. Oh, see, even Aquaman doesn't understand. We'll just put him back. Stay there for a second, my friend. I still don't understand why we would have peg holes on this side if the feet only have the holes on this side. I mean, I can understand maybe, I don't even understand why you need 4 different holes. I mean, do we really need these many choices? But then again, I don't know. But here makes no sense unless you have the display base this way, or you're just one of those people that like to display their characters backwards. You have friends coming over and say, oh, is that Super Friends? They are. Well, why are they all backwards? That's just the way I like to display them. I just like to display them that way. But I love this. I love the imprinted Super Friends logo on the front. Very iconic. Definitely display bases that I'm going to want to hold on to. Other accessories we have, I just hold it correctly. We have ourselves Black Manta's Neutron eraser gun. Kind of, if you turn it this way, for some reason it reminds me of the Starship Enterprise, at least the bottom section of the Enterprise, and then the saucer section. You see where I'm going with this. Once again, a big old antenna indicating to the good guys, yes, destroy this. This is a weapon that the villain is currently holding. But some nice detail. It's very, very retro, and I love that. Got some yellow on the front, and a red center area there as well. And really, aside from that, there is no additional paint, but the detail work is definitely really nice. Nice in a very simplistic, very, again, retro feel. And lastly, one of the very cool accessories that come with this, you get yourself a replica of the Black Manta Sub. It is removable. Although I would say a little bit of caution when taking this off. This peg feels very fragile. I don't know how long this will last, but at least it's part of the base. This piece isn't, it could so likely break off, but I like this display base, but I certainly love the Black Manta submarine. Some really nice detail. I love that color. It's kind of a grayish blue. We got some really nice yellow on the lights, and then some black highlight pieces, some additional, and then on the back as well, let's not forget that also. Really nice detail work. I think the Robin and the Riddler, from my current memory as it stands right now at the time I'm shooting this review, I think it comes with the Batmobile, which I'm really excited to have that opened up as well. The Hall of Doom is definitely also a must-have. I mean, these little accessories, even if you don't ultimately keep the figures, like if you are somebody that had collected these figures and you thought, yeah, you know what, I don't need these necessarily anymore, I'm going to give them away or I'm going to sell them, I would say if anything, I would hold on to these little models, these little extra pieces. These look awesome on a shelf. Fragileness aside, I mean, definitely that shows really well on a bookcase or by your desk. Again, Spot speaks of this desk that probably is, you know, it looks like hoarders. You got like stuff all over the desk. Don't worry, it doesn't look like that. But totally in my imaginary world, I'd have all this stuff just all over the place. Around keyboards, my mouse, I'd have to like kind of move stuff out of the way to move my mouse. Such a delightful world you create. Lastly, of course not lastly, but the real meat of this review, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move the display base up, those out of the way. And I'm going to move the gun out of the way. Let's actually have a look at the figures that make up this set. I really want to leave Black Manta for last, because I just really love this figure. Let's have first a look at Aquaman. Now, he is your iconic, classic Aquaman. You've got your orange, you've got your green, your black, and then you've got your yellow. I mean, that's Aquaman. He's been changed so often, but then he always finds a way to come back to this attire in one way or another. As for his face, it screams, for me at least, it screams Hanna-Barbera. You just look at this, Hanna-Barbera. Hey, what do you want for lunch today? Hanna-Barbera. Okay, maybe it doesn't work for everything, but it's definitely an iconic face. Kind of looks like a cross between Ken and I would say Ken, and I would also say Fred from Scooby-Doo. I like that he's smiling. He's kind of like just, hey guys, I'm just going to hang out in the sun. When you guys need me, and that is likely probably no, but when you guys need me, just give me a shout. I'll just be hanging out with the fishes. I also like the fact that he has suggested scales. Like, he doesn't have scales all over his chest, because I know generally when you get a classic outfit, Aquaman, you always tend to get those scales everywhere, and I like that, that's fine. But sometimes I don't feel like scales everywhere. Sometimes I just feel like a hint, a trace of scales. And in this case, he's got scales on his shoulders, and a little around the chest area and around his tummy. Something I had mentioned with the Luthor and Superman, I'm going to also repeat here as well. The colors are vibrant. This figure looks like it's been pulled right out of the cartoon. I don't really see any imperfections for the most part in the figure. Maybe a little bit going on there. Oh, something's going on. I bet you Black Manta is drilling into the Earth's core. Finally, we have a job for Aquaman. No, seriously, I don't know what that noise is. You probably aren't hearing anything right now, but Spot's hearing some drilling or something going on. There's probably some work being done currently in this establishment, in this building that I'm currently in. But yeah, I definitely really like Aquaman here. He works so well. Of course, he's got his fins going on there. He's got his pointed gloves. I mean, everything you would imagine with Aquaman done really well in this figure. In the way of his articulation, Aquaman's head rotates left and right. No ball joint or anything like that. It's probably just sitting on a peg, so, I mean, it moves left and right, but that's all it does. His arms, however, are on a pin and socket. You can see the hinge, actually. You may not see the hinge. It's in there, though. But arms move out, back and forth. He bends at the elbow, Nothing, however, in the glove, which is the same thing that Superman and Luthor had. Nothing in the waist, and his legs go forward, back, and bend at the knee. That's it. That's it. That's not a big deal, though. You'll also notice, too, that he's kind of got this stance going on there, where he's kind of leaning to the one side. Maybe he's ready to deploy himself or shoot out of the blowhole of a whale. I don't know how Aquaman really gets around, but I definitely love this figure. I love the Superman, but there's something so very iconic about just the look of this Aquaman. He just screams to me the cartoon. I thought the Superman did as well, but I think the Aquaman really captures the essence of that cartoon. Superfriends, this certainly brings me back. Aquaman, however, I'm going to give him a 9. Moving along, and actually what I'm going to do, there goes the drilling again. Probably somebody's putting up a bookcase. Just disregard. If you can hear that noise, I think in the past Spot has said, oh, that noise is driving me crazy, but then everybody's like, Spot, I can't hear anything. I think it's all in your head. I'm going to put Aquaman on his display base. We'll just keep him like that. Let's actually have a look at Black Manta. Love this figure so much. Now, there's not a lot going on with the figure, essentially. I mean, it's just a basic purple body, kind of a purple jumpsuit going on there. He's got a black belt. But I think the core of the detail is all captured in his head. He looks so iconic. He's very basic. There's detail-wise, there's not a lot going on for him. But I've always been a sucker for big domed villains. Always have loved Black Manta, and I really have always loved Spider-Man's Mysterio. I don't know what it is. Just the idea of having a really, really large-headed villain somehow impresses me. And now there's banging going on. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't have interchangeable hands, nor does Aquaman. He does have the one open hand, though, so you can take the Neutron eraser gun, whatever that does, and you can put it in his hand. And you can even have him just kind of posed like that. On his display base, definitely Black Manta would shine. Again, what I have to say for Black Manta is the same I had mentioned with Aquaman. The outfit and just the overall execution from DC Direct really looks like Black Manta here was pulled right out of the cartoon film cells. The animation cells, boom, right to a figure. It looks iconic. It definitely looks like it came from the cartoon itself. Articulation would be the same, although with Black Manta, he's a little more limited to the fact that he's got these hoses attaching his head to his backpack. You can't really move his head too much, and I would say be careful when moving it, because as you can see, pulling it to the one side, you're putting a lot of tension on the one that this might break off. So a little bit care, I should say, put into when handling and turning the character's head. He does still have the same shoulder articulation, same bend in the elbow, nothing in the waist, but the legs go forward, back, and again, bend at the knee. Aquaman's knees were a little weak. He's a little loose, unfortunately. Luckily, Black Manta, joints all nice and stiff, and I really like that. That's always a nice welcome when you get it out of package and it's not loose. These two, peanut butter and jelly going on right here. These are two iconic characters, two rivals of the classic cartoon Super Friends, and to get them in figure form and with their display bases, which this time around Spot actually got it right. Let's just put him on his display base here. Only one peg hole, I don't know why, but these definitely put on a display shelf. I mean, I would put these literally with all the cartoons that I grew up with. I mean, this to me captures my youth as a whole. Black Manta, I'm going to give him a very solid 8. And another fantastic set, again, brought to us from the good folks at DC Direct. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Direct Super Friends, we're having a look at Aquaman, and Black Manta. Definitely a set. Don't overlook it if you can find it. You can probably find it now relatively inexpensive. Stick around, guys. There's definitely more reviews heading your way. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.